Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gentle Dog Trainers channel. I'm your host Olivia De Santos and today we are talking about dogs and fighting. Why aren't your dogs getting along? How can you help break up a dog fight? And what can you do if your dogs are just fighting incessantly? We're going to talk about all of those things today, but first I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. If you want to raise happy, healthy and well-behaved dogs, we make videos every single week on the topic of dog ownership. So if that sounds good to you, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and let's dive into the content. So first things first, why aren't your dogs getting along? Here are a few reasons why that could be happening. The first is the age difference. So we've discussed how to introduce your puppy to your adult dog before, and I will link that in the iCard above me somewhere up here, because we go into quite a lot of detail about how a puppy could basically get on your adult dog's nerves. And this is a natural part of puppyhood. You know, children are annoying, that's a given. So age difference can cause some friction with your dogs. Another reason why your dogs might be fighting is their territorial nature. So if you have an established dog at home and you're bringing in a new dog, then there just might be some territorialness that comes out in that. That's not always the case, by the way. Some dogs are perfectly happy to coexist quite early on, but some really struggle with that kind of power difference and that power differential that they have. The third reason is that they just don't like each other. Their personalities don't gel. They don't like each other's smell, they don't like each other's presence, they don't like each other's way of being. This is a weird thing, a weird concept to think about, but some dogs just don't like each other. They just don't get along. And that's not to say that it will always be that case, and it's not to say that they can't coexist even though they never really become friends. But it's fair to say that if they don't like each other, then they might be more likely to fight. Okay, so let's talk about dog fighting versus play fighting. So in my previous video about introducing your puppy to your dog, I do discuss dog fighting in quite some detail. We're going to go over it again just so that you know the difference between play fighting and dog fighting. So the first thing is to look at the body language. So play fighting is very loose. So you'll see like tails wagging, that their movements are just more relaxed. Whereas dog fighting, everything is very tense. Everything, you know, their fur is on end, they're tensing their jaw, they're tensing their limbs, everything feels very tense, whereas with play fighting everything is very loose. With dog fighting you'll find that growling escalates. So play fighting, there are also growls because this is part of the play, but there is an escalating tension with the growling and the noise that your dogs make when they are properly fighting. My telltale sign for dog fighting is to watch the ears. So if the ears are pinned backwards like this, very, very taut, very, very tense, then that is an actual fight. In play fighting, their ears tend to remain loose, tend to remain quite mobile and not like swept back and really, really angry and tense in their way. Okay, so how do you break up a dog fight if it is happening? Now in that previous video I gave you one way to break up a dog fight, and that is the wheelbarrow technique, but we'll start with the least invasive to the most invasive. So the least invasive would be to make a loud noise, make a really loud distracting noise, like bang two pots together for example, and this will kind of like frighten them out of their trance, and this will give you a chance to separate them once they are separated. Something that is more invasive is to spray citronella. So if you have a citronella spray, a dog safe citronella spray, just spray that, spritz that into their faces or spritz that into their faces. This will get them to separate, and then you can physically separate them from each other. The next way to break up a dog fight that is more invasive is to throw blankets. So if you have a large soft blanket, throw it over the dogs and then physically separate them from each other. The most invasive is the wheelbarrow technique, and you will need another person to help you with this. This involves getting the hind legs of each of the dogs and slowly walking them away from each other backwards like this. Once they are sufficiently separated, then you can move them into separate rooms. So those are the 4 techniques to break up a dog fight. It really depends on the stage of the fight and what is going to work. I recommend that you try all of them, like try the loud noise first and then escalate to the citronella, escalate to the blanket, escalate to the wheelbarrow, just seeing what is actually going to work. Hopefully the loud noise is enough and you can just get them into separate spaces, get them to cool down. Maybe they're in a crate space, in completely different opposite places in the home, and just allow them to center and calm down. Once they are fully calm, it's a good idea to inspect for any injuries. Have a look for any scratches, any bite marks. These can be really well hidden and might not pose a problem until a few days later. So inspect thoroughly right now whilst your dog is calm and separated from the other dog. So let's say that your dogs have been coexisting for a while, but they are just still not getting along. Like they have been fighting for months and months and months, and it's not getting any better. Like every single time you break up that fight, there's another fight the next week, and it just, you're at a loss. Well, I propose 2 solutions. One is to involve a professional. So have a look for dog behaviorists or dog trainers, and they might be able to help you identify the problem between them and maybe even train them into certain techniques so that they can coexist together in a more harmonious way. The second solution is a bit more extreme, but if things are just not improving whatsoever, like it's been a year since these 2 dogs have been in each other's company and they're just not getting on, they are really, really struggling to be in the home together, then I would seriously consider rehoming one of the dogs. Now, I know this is a bit extreme and you don't want to let go of one of your dogs. I completely understand, but if it is making them miserable, like they just can't coexist, they're really, really struggling in each other's spaces and they're just completely miserable with each other around, then they are not living their happiest and best life being together, and it might be better that they are apart. But I will leave this up to you. See how you go. I hope this video was helpful in understanding why your dogs might be fighting, how to break up a dog fight, and what you can do if things are just not improving. If you like this video, you'll really like this one. I've been Olivia DeSantos for the Gentle Dog Trainers channel, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.